Kendra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today is a thrift flip video, and today is actually my very first thrift flip that I've ever done, so please be kind. I'm going to show you how I made this top here. So this top was actually originally a dress. All right guys, so I just tried this cheetah one, and I cannot even get it on. But now that I'm looking at it, if you kind of see this inside, this is made up of a lot of paneling. And because I do just want it to be a top, I think that I can take, cut it in half and use the bottom panels to extend this inside so it actually does fit me. So we will see. I just really love this fabric, and if I can save it and wear it in some way, I would really like to. So this one did not fit, but look out for a thrift flip because I'm really going to try and make this work for me. It was a very short mini dress. This is actually only in a size large. So what I did was cut off the bottom portion of the dress. I kind of measured to where I thought a good point on me would be. And then I cut off the bottom and used the bottom to add a panel. So this is the back. As you can see, it doesn't look the best. There's some unevenness, but I was able to kind of finesse in 2 more panels to make this fit me, and also it gave that button detail that would have gone down the rest of the dress. I was able to put that on the back of the shirt here. So this is something that I feel like is a good option for plus size girls who, you find something really, really cute at the thrift store, maybe a dress, maybe it's like a long tunic shirt, and there is some extra fabric, but the actual item does not fit you. So this is something that you can do to an item like that to make it fit you if you love the pattern, the style of the top. For me, I really loved these kind of opalescent buttons. I loved the fabric of this. If you can see, it is a like cheetah corduroy. So I was able to deconstruct this, a lot of seam ripping involved, to turn it into a cute little summer crop tank top that I can wear instead of a mini dress that I couldn't wear. Now, this was a lot of work. I'm not going to say that this was a super quick and easy project. However, I did this all by myself. I probably could have looked on YouTube and found some like helpful videos and things, but I didn't do that. So I'm hoping that this video, if you guys do try out something similar, will be a good help for you so you can see the kind of mistakes I made and the overall process. Because as I was going, I was kind of just winging it to see what would work or not. But now that I know, and now that I've done it, I could definitely see myself doing this again in the future and it taking much less time. So here you will see me laying out the item for the first time. I was trying to figure out what to possibly do. I knew I needed to take the sleeves off just because I could not get my arms through them. So here's me gesturing what I'm going to do. I was originally going to cut them off, and then I thought better of it and realized in a later clip, you will see, the seam ripping was the thing to do. I also was kind of mapping out where I wanted to cut it to make it a crop top, and then seeing how much fabric I would have left over. Here I am taking out the seam ripper and deciding that this is actually what I need to be doing. I also used some thread cutters throughout to just get rid of so much of this extra fabric. As you guys will see, all of these edges were serged, so there was a lot of seam ripping to do. So here I am just kind of turning it inside out and prepping the garment for surgery, which is what it felt like. It felt like 6-hour-long surgery. Also, it was the first time I'd seam ripped anything, so I was doing it wrong for a very long time, as you will see. So here I begin the tedious process. Also, if you know how to seam rip, you will probably know that you put the ball down, and that's what helps you to glide smoothly and not catch everything with the sharp edge. I was not doing that, so I went about a long ways through this, doing it like this, cutting what I could, and yeah, I had to do all of the serging. And then also, if you can see right below the serge, there is that line, that's the actual thread line, like where they sewed it. I had to go about doing this and taking off the sleeves before even trying the top on, because I couldn't get it on to even see how long I wanted it to be because the armholes were so small. So I got to work. It took me a while, but I managed. Now I would be able to do a lot faster because I actually know how to seam rip now. Okay, bye. After cutting off the sleeves, I was able to put it on, and my fiance was kind enough to put some pins in the top where I wanted them. So I tried it on, figured out where I wanted to cut it, and he pinned. I pinned on top of this button, also underneath, just in case I ended up cutting it kind of separately. There was a marker on both and then the marker on the back. I was trying to make it as smooth as possible to make sure that I cut straight. I do have rotary cutters, but I think I used fabric scissors. And then all the bottom fabric under that pin will be able to be added back into the bodice later. That was the plan. That's what sort of worked out. So this was the line I managed to cut. I hadn't done the bottom yet. I think I was going to flip it. All of this would be hemmed though as well, that raw edge. So I wasn't too worried yet, but that top part is the bodice. And then the bottom part is all that extra fabric. So I was pretty impressed with how straight I ended up getting it, especially just using fabric scissors. I think definitely having 2 pins helped. I think that's probably what I'm saying. I'm gesturing. And I was just showing you that here you can see that pin underneath as well. So that'll be the center point for the back when I flip it over. So I think the easiest place that I'll be able to add fabric in is this center line, just because there is no curvature. So if you see over here, there's some curving going on, the same on this side. And I think that is going to be a lot more difficult and require a lot more measuring and cutting than me just cutting down here. But the only thing with cutting down here is this is obviously a longer chunk of fabric than this. So this is the length that I have, which leave some to be desired up there. So I probably will have to do one panel and then another. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Wish me luck. A lot of seam riveting later, and I stabbed myself in the hand. You can't even see it because it's literally just a pinprick from this, but it was so painful and I still feel it. Like I feel the puncture. This is all that is left from the bottom half, is this little chunk, and then I have 2 3 piece, when I say 3 pieces, there's like 3 segments that I salvaged. And now it is time to go through and cut open the back of this so I can insert these one and then one. But again, it is now 10:27 and I'm getting tired. But we will see how far it goes. Kathleen Lights is here helping me. I have a mess all around. I'm covered, absolutely covered in threads. So I have my scrunchie on standby for when I get tired of my hair. We can do this. Okay, so I just told you how I was going to try and be really careful and seam rip this, but me and seam ripping are taking a break. I used just my fabric scissors and went ahead and cut very, very close to this seam, as close as I could, and I tried to keep it really straight. So now it is open, and now we are going to insert our panels. Let's see how it goes. Okay, you guys, so you've been staring at this top for a while, so I decided I would talk you through face to face. I have finally made some changes, did a lot of pinning. My fiance helped me cinch it in because it is my back, so once I put it on, I was like, oh, it fits, but then I kind of looked in the mirror and there was a lot of extra fabric, so he went ahead and pinned it for me, and now I just have to sew it. However, I am kind of wishing that I had sewn a certain part of it together in the first place, because now I have this, like, I'll just show you. So this is the back now. So as you can see, I have 2 pieces of fabric here that are pinned. So it's 1 piece and 1 piece. I ended up using the bottom half with the buttons because I thought that was cute detail that I could save. These are the shoulders, obviously. I originally pinned it to the side more, and my fiance went through and pinned where it needs to be. My only thing with this now is, like, I'm looking at this trying to figure out how to actually sew it. I feel like I should have sewn this portion together and then pinned it, which I guess I could still do, and then he can help me pin it again. But I'm finally actually going to use my sewing machine and do something. So stay tuned. The last bit will be adding back the sleeves and doing all that kind of stuff, finishing work, hems. But I finally gotten to the meat of it where it's like cut those pieces out and inserted them, and now they just need to be sewed to the actual garment. So fingers crossed. You just saw me sewing this seam, so I just folded this over, sewed it here. I have a lot of extra flap here, but that's okay. I can cut that out later, or I can keep it in. It really doesn't matter. There's a finished hem in there, so I kind of don't want to cut it out. This is the side that's going to have to be fixed, like pinned or whatever, but I'm going to leave this because I don't know how much of it needs to be pinned. But this side, as you can see, is semi-straight. So what I'm going to do is attach this to the rest of the bodice piece on this side and finish one side, and then I'll have him pin the other side accordingly so that I do this in the right way. There also was a little cutting mishap, so what I'm gonna have to do is detach the button, hem this, and then put the button a little bit farther down, so it will be uneven, but honestly we'll see about that. But did my first stitch, all of that. I will say that the more that I've sewn, the more that I realize there's not actually that much sewing involved. It's a lot of cutting and a lot of measuring to see what will work, because once you know how to do that, it's really easy to just go brr, brr, but it's the rest of it. So this little edge was like perfect over here, and it just got thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker, but that's okay. Still a work in progress. So everything is about done. I just have to close the seam, which I'm a little worried about because this is the one that actually like determines if it's gonna fit okay. Fiance tried to help me and he kind of pinned where it needs to be pinned, so I'm gonna try and just again fold it under and then try and sew a straight line down, and then I'll kind of complete this little line too. I just wanted to give myself enough room to be able to tuck if I needed to. So that is that, and we're almost finished. And then it's just the hem, which is the worst part. Top hem, and then this weird button situation. So oh my god, and the sleeves. We'll see if we finish tonight. We'll see. All right, last thing is this hem, and it's honestly what I'm most nervous about at this point, just because I know how hems can be, and I know that it's not going to come out straight, and I feel like I've put in so much work and the rest of it looks pretty decent. But if this hem turns out crappy, I'm not going to wear it. So I lost the clips after this of me actually sewing and finishing it up, so you guys were only going to see the actual finished and completed top. I also decided not to do any sleeves. I just finished the raw hem that I had originally cut off and left it as a tank top. As you guys probably heard my voice, I was so done with this by the end of the project, but I'm glad that I ended up not doing anything for the sleeves. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video and it gave you some inspiration on how to thrift flip some items that may not fit you perfectly, and how to add in some extra width if you have a little bit more fabric from the bottom of a garment. I really loved how this top turned out, and I'm super proud that I was able to kind of MacGyver it together, even though, you know, this item technically wasn't made for me, wasn't made for my body, but I was able to get it for a really good price and make it into something that does fit me. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all the nice things down below. It really helps my channel to grow when you guys do those things. And I will see you next Tuesday for another video. Bye.